Hello, hello, and welcome. Happy Tuesday. I'm Debbie Danford at craftiercreations.blogspot.com. And I have been working with the Perfectly Pears bundle. This is what is going to be the pick for my monthly club for August. So I have been playing with this, and then my bonus class in my monthly club for August, I'm using the Encircled with Love. So today we're going to use a combination of both of these and some of the beautiful designer series paper that comes in this pack. Now let me just grab some of them really quick. I have used, now mine are kind of a mess because I've used a lot of them. I almost didn't have enough to do a video today with this for what I wanted. So you've got this one here. Let me see if I can get all six. And then there's the back side. We've got this one here. Beautiful patterns. And then there's the back side of that one. And then of course this one you've probably seen all over the place where we can cut it up into some cards, which I will probably be doing that at some point here too, just because it's so fun to do that. And then we have this pattern here. This one with the Darling Duckling on the back side. We have this pattern here, which is what I'm going to use today because I feel like the two coordinate together. And this one here, which I don't hardly have any left of because I've already used 2 sheets of this one just in all the cards I've been making between monthly club and, like I said, and the bonus class. And I will have the link down below. My monthly club is $39.50, and you get the supplies to make 5 projects, 2 of each. We have a private Facebook group that I let everybody vote on for what bundle you want to pick. So I always put usually a poll out there at the end of, towards the end of the month, and it runs through the 5th of the beginning of the following month, and then you get to vote, and then that'll be the bundle that wins. And that's usually then what I focus on. So you get a video and a PDF that I post everything out on the private Facebook group. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I will be more than happy to answer them. Okay, so let me show you what we're making. And I can't remember if I've done a video for this before. I know I've done it in my team meetings before, and it's been a while since I've made one of these, but I thought, oh, some of this paper would be perfect, and then I could pair it with the Encircled with Love. So let me show you what we have on the inside here. I grabbed my scoreboard, but we're going to be using that. So here's what I did, and I kept them very simple. Everything's from the Perfectly Paired, the Hello, and yes, that one is a little crooked. And they slide in here just like this. And it is a tight fit, but they do fit. And then here's the other 2. I just did as thank yous. Again, very simple. Stamped on the inside. And they slide in here just like this. And I just kind of push them up against the edge. Close it up. And then you can tie your cute little bow right here. Okay? Very simple decorating on the front. You can make it as elaborate or as simple as you want, depending on, your paper, what you've got going on. Okay, so I have a template here that I'm going to open up because we're going to look at that to get our score marks. And I've had this template for a long time. Now, when you have a directional pattern, and I think I've got it going the right way because this is how I just did the last one and it seemed to work. But I could be wrong here, and my direction maybe cattywampus when we're done, but we're going to just go with the flow. So right now I have my direction going this way, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that, yes, I did do it the right direction. And like I said, I make mistakes just like everybody else, but we just go with the flow. So 3 3/4. Okay, 3 3/4. And 9 1/2. And 9 1/2. I like to use my scoreboard for scores like this versus using my paper trimmer, but you could use either one. It doesn't matter. Okay, then I'm turning it the other direction. See, these were folded like this. And we're going to go 2 inches. So, yeah, let me make sure here. Yes, 2. Okay. Now I'm turning it, and we're going to go 2 inches, 5 3/4 inches, 5 3/4, 6 1/4. And I'm using, just so you know, I'm using the bigger tip of the scoring tool here for the Designer Series paper. And then 10 inches. On Designer Series paper, you want to use the bigger tip. On your cardstock, you can use the smaller tip. Okay, and that's all we're going to do for scoring. So then what we want to do is, I'll take and put that away for right now, is we are going to burnish all these score lines really good with our bone folder. So we're just going to fold these, burnish them. And then we've got one here. And yes, it is supposed to overlap like that, so we're doing good there. And I already have my ink pads open here. You probably can't see them on camera yet, but so I'm trying to be careful not to flop my paper into them, because yes, I have done that before. Or dropped a finished card in it. Done that too. Okay, come on. There's another square. There we go. So there's that one. And here's this one. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put the 2-inch and the 10-inch, which were these two, these that go like this, up so that it's facing this direction. So here's the 2-inch and 10-inch. They were coming like this. And what we're going to do now is you're going to take this corner here, and we're just going to fold this end up here to match with that score line right there. Right on that score line. And then we're going to burnish. And we're going to do that on all 4 corners. So then we'll come over here. We're going to do the same thing. Line it up with that score line. And I know it's hard probably for you to see that on camera. Here, let me bring this up a little bit. And then you can see what we've got going on, okay? Then we're going to turn this, and we're going to do the same thing. Okay. Sometimes I just use my fingernail to do my burnishing when it's a small spot like that. Okay, then you fold these in. I have to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Fold these in. Make sure that's burnished really good. Okay, that's burnished really good. And then we fold this back. Okay, do another burnish here. We fold this one back, okay, and then we tuck these in right here. Did you see how I did that? I just lifted that up, tucked those in really good like that. And this is where you can decide if you want this to be your front or if you want this to be your front. I like to do it like this myself, but you could do it either way. Now, here's a little tip. If you want this pattern to be here and this to be here, all you have to do is flip the whole thing. So like when we started, you know, our pears were up and we folded in, did all that. All you have to do is flip it over and do everything just the opposite direction. It works really well. Either way, but I kind of like what I've got going on. Now, my pears, I wouldn't say they're upside down, and I don't know that it would have mattered if I would have gone the other way, because my leaves are fine, although I don't think that one was directional as much. Yeah, a little bit, but I think we're good, and I like it like that. Okay, so we're going to just set that aside for a minute. Then we're going to bring in our note cards and envelopes. So we have 4 of those, and then we have 4 envelopes that go with it. And I'm just going to tuck the envelopes in here right now so they're out of our way and they don't get ink on them or something like that, because you never know. Now, if you like to stamp on your envelopes, then, you know, you don't want to necessarily tuck them in here right away. But I'm going to go ahead and tuck them in there. Okay. Then, what you need is, I'm using 4 pieces of Mossy Meadow that are 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and then 4 pieces of Basic White that are 3 by 4 1/2, because they're just going to layer on top of there, and then we're just going to layer these on top of the note cards. Okay, let me grab a scrap piece, because we're going to do some stamping, and we're going to kind of do it all 4 at once, and then we're going to do our insides at the same time. So what I'm going to do is do 2 at a time here. Now I'm stamping the outline of the pear in Mossy Meadow. So let's go ahead and bring that in. Like I said, these are really simple to make, and it'd be a great little neighbor gift. Well, school's getting ready to start. If you've got kids or grandkids and they need thank you gifts for their new teachers, you know, any of those things, or thank you gift to your favorite waitress, or I might give mine to Vanessa at La Hacienda. I like to give her little card gifts sometimes. So, okay, so there's those 4. Now what I'm going to do, whoops, is I'm grabbing the note cards, and I'm actually, because they do come pre-scored. The score line sometimes is very faint. Sometimes I'll take and just do that a little bit, just so I know where the score line is, because I like to work in a flat surface. I don't fold this till I'm done. But what we're going to do is take this whole stack, we're going to flip it, because we know this is going to be the inside, and then we're going to stamp. We're kind of doing this in a sequence of stuff. We're going to stamp the pear on everything first. Now, when you're stamping on the inside of this card, you're going to keep your fingers crossed that you don't make a mess or don't make a mistake, because you can't flip it. Well, no, I don't think you would. I was thinking you could fold it the other direction, but I don't think that would work. I think it would end up to be upside down and backwards then or something, but I'm not sure. Okay, so there's all of that. We've got the outline of that done. Now let's do the outline of the leaf. Yeah, and see, I got a little boo-boo there, but we're just going to go with the flow. So let's see. This leaf, we're going to turn this way. Okay. This leaf, I'm going to do them all like just a little bit different that way. This one, let's go this way. This is our outline first, and then we're going to come back and stamp the insides. Okay. Now, I did notice something here. This one has a little boo-boo there. We don't necessarily want that on there, and since I can flip this, because this is our card front, I'm going to go ahead and try it again. Yeah, much better. Okay, now let's get back to our leaf. I didn't see that when I was stamping. And like I said, you can turn your leaf any direction you want. Okay, and let's do one that way. Oh, I did the same thing there. Guess I wasn't paying attention to how I was stamping there. Okay, so we had 2 little boo-boos. And honestly, we may not even really have noticed it once we were done, but that's okay. All right, so there's that. Now what we're going to do, let's take the inside to the leaf, and you're going to stamp it in Mossy Meadow. You're going to stamp off, and then we're going to stamp right in here. And I apologize if you see the top of my head. I got off just a little bit there, but I'm not even going to worry about it. It's not that important that it's perfect. There we go. We did better that time. Just making sure I'm staying in camera here. I was going to do my video today and use Zoom to record, and I forgot all about it. I had already got started, and then I thought, oh yeah, I was going to try it a little different, because then I can see what I'm doing at the same time, or I can make sure I stay in camera too. Because right now I just use my phone to record. Okay. Okay, there's those. Now let's do this part. Remember that, whoops. Don't forget to stamp off once. Okay. I mean, if you did forget, it's not the end of the world. You just have one that's a little bit darker. Okay. I was going to pre-make 2 of these, and then I thought, they go together pretty quickly. I think I'll be okay time-wise. I don't like to take up too much of your time. Okay, so there's that. Now, what we're going to do, we're done with Mossy Meadow, because I actually already even have something for the front stamped that I didn't use when I was creating some other cards. So we're going to use one of these. I just haven't decided for sure which one for the outside. Now I have Timid Tiger and Darling Duckling here. And then we're going to bring in the inside of the pear. And what I've been doing is inking it up in Darling Duckling. And then you take a dauber with Timid Tiger and you just kind of tap it. Huff on it just to moisten that ink up a little bit, and then we come down and stamp it, and then there's what we have. Okay, now if you want it to all be one color, you certainly can do it that way. You don't have to add a little extra if you don't want to. Okay, and then we will stamp this one. Now these are our insides. Pretty. Okay. And you don't have to ink this up every time. I have done it where 2 or 3 times. It just gets a little bit lighter, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, there's that one. You notice I kind of clean it just a little bit just to make sure that I've got all that Darling Duckling off there. Don't want to put that, or Timid Tiger off there. You don't want to put that in your Darling Duckling, even though I did stamp Mossy Meadow in. I had Mossy Meadow on a stamp, and then I stamped it in the Darling Duckling. You can't see it now because I've pretty much cleaned it up since then, but well, you know, we all make those kind of mistakes. Now this time I didn't re-ink this, so it's going to be a little bit lighter, so we'll see. Okay, but you can't even tell. It still looks about the same. Okay. And this little fun fold note card holder is a great one to do like holiday time and, you know, for holiday type gifts and those kind of things. I think it's awesome. Okay. Well, we are going to stamp one more thing in Mossy Meadow. We're going to stamp our phrases on the front. Now I did, okay, so that's the end of that. We did the insides. Yay, we got all that done. Woohoo! We can close this up. Now I did hello and thank you. I was just going to look through the words really quick, and we might do the same thing again. There's not a happy birthday in here, and I want something that's, you know, small enough to fit kind of right in here. So I think we'll just stick with what I've got out right now. Of course, you can switch it up to anything. And I love this tiny little hello. I think it's so cute. As my granddaughter would say, Grammy, it's so cute. Okay. Now, when I did the first card of these, I stamped this crooked. Yay. Actually, I think I'm going to do the thank you on that one. I feel like the ones that I turned the leaves a little bit this way. Okay, there's our two hellos. And then here's our two thank yous. I'm going to go up here just a little bit further. I mean, you can go anywhere. And you don't have to stamp directly on the card, but this is an easy way to assemble 4 note cards very quickly. Okay. Close that up so we don't drop anything in it. And now we're just going to do some assembly. So what we first want to do, let's bring these in and bring in our layers. So we're going to be adding some of this beautiful Mossy Meadow and Gold ribbon, which coordinates with the Perfectly Pears suite. And you see you've got Mossy Meadow and a hint of gold here, but if you turn it over, you see the backside, which is the gold, is the more predominant color there. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some adhesive on here, and we're going to wrap our piece of ribbon around. Or I should say attach our piece of ribbon. I don't wrap all the way around. I know some people wrap around and then just tie their bow or their half knot or whatever they're putting on it. I do it a little different because I don't like to waste ribbon behind the backside of a card. I feel like you don't need to do that. Okay, and then this is going to layer on here. And again, what do I always say? That's free landscape if you want to die cut. Now, I could have punched this layering circle out of here, which is what I normally would have done, but I already had some punched. Okay, so there's that. Just doing an assembly line here. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Okay, and then ribbon. And I'm putting the more Mossy Meadow side up versus the gold, which is kind of funny. I thought that there was actually gold in this ribbon when there's not really any flecks of gold in any of the paper. So, I mean, it's very pretty ribbon, don't get me wrong. I really do like it. Oops, trying to put ribbon down and there's not any tape there. I missed a spot. Okay, and then this one will go on here. Just like that. Okay, number 2. Now let's get number 3 done. Okay. Whoops. Sometimes I go back over my piece of ribbon just a little bit with adhesive just to make sure it's gonna stick. If you're wondering what I'm doing there, you don't have to do that. I know some people put a piece of Scotch tape like on top of their ribbon. I just put a piece of adhesive on there. I feel like that works too. Okay, so one more here, our last one. If I can get it to stick. Now, if you're on my mailing list, you will have received an email on the 1st that August is my birthday month. So my birthday's at the end of the month. Although some people thought it was on August 1st when I sent out the email. But no, my birthday's actually on August 29th. And I have an ordering special going on all month long. If you place an order for $50 or more before shipping and tax, you will receive at the end of the month, I'm going to do all the crediting, $10 in stamp and rewards from me. So you do need to make sure you opt in to receive the rewards in order to get that. So, and make sure you're ordering from me. This is just a special from me. But I thought it was a great way to celebrate my birthday month. And everybody gets a little free something extra there. Okay, now we're just going to layer these on top of here, and then we'll tie our bow and add some bling. Again, we're just working in an assembly line here. So yeah, any order you place this month over 50 before shipping and tax, and before any rewards are used, if you already have rewards, has to be a $50 minimum. I will send you $10 in Stampin' Rewards, and that's like getting double, because usually you get 10%. So on a $50 order, you will earn 5, and then you'll get 10 from me. So that'll give you, 3 times the amount of reward. So that's a good deal. So shop till you drop. Good month to shop. Okay, so here's number 2. Just trying to make sure I'm getting them on straight. Now I did flip them all at once, but I am double checking just to make sure. Okay, that I'm putting them on the front. Now the nice thing about using adhesive for this, that if you did mess up, you can use a heat gun, or you can huff on it to lift this back up if need be. When you do glue, it's a little bit harder to do that. Okay, there's that one. Oh, and of course it looks like I'm going to run out of adhesive. Let's see if I can manage to get... Ooh, I might get it all done without having to refill. Okay, there's that. So now what we're going to do is and I'm putting the gold side up, even though that's not what's going to show. So then I just do my little half knot, and then I twist that, put it in the middle there or wherever you want it. Just trim off your edges a little bit, and there's one there. Okay, again, you just put the gold side up, and then you just tie your half knot, twist it, and then trim off your edges. Okay, there's number 2. Let's do this again. Easy peasy. I tend to work with my ribbon on the roll. Sometimes I'll cut it a piece first. It just kind of depends. But if I can use it on the roll, then less waste is how I look at it. You have less waste then. And that other end was already cut for me. So again, our last one here. And then we're going to attach our, I cut that one a little long. Okay, so there's those 4. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take a piece of ribbon here. And again, I put the gold side down. And this time I will tell you how long you approximately want it. It all depends on, and I'm guessing I could measure from this one actually. Here. I'll measure from this one. And actually I think this one is just a wee bit long. So let me see where I'm at. I am at 20 inches. So you're good at 20 inches. If you want to cut it a little bit shorter, you will be just fine. So I'm going to come back just a little bit and trim that off. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, all I do is lay it out, because you want it centered both ways. You want half of both ends of the ribbon to meet here. And then I usually put it in the center. If you don't want it in the center, adjust it to how you want it. I just use, you can do one of 2 things. You can do a glue dot. Here, this time I'm going to pull off a glue dot. Or you could put a little tiny piece of adhesive down there. This thing of glue dots is almost gone, but we have enough. And I'm just going to put a little glue dot right there. Now on the front, I don't necessarily have to do that, because I'm going to put a little circle there, but I did anyway, just to help it hold it in place. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same thing back here, just so it kind of holds it in place and isn't flopping around when they untie it. Okay, so I'm going to pull that back up, and then right there, putting a glue dot and putting it down. Okay, so there, that part's done. Now I have two things already punched because I'm just going to put this on here, and I'm either going to do it as a thank you or a little something for you. I think I'm going to do the little something for you, which is what I did before. I like that because then it does make it look like it's a gift you're giving them. Okay. And then I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and we just want to put like 3 up here. I'm not putting any in the middle because that's where the ribbon lays. So I'm just going to put like 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom, kind of like that. And you'll see when I put it on what I mean. You try to avoid putting a dimensional on top of where you might have ribbon, because then in this case it wouldn't have mattered unless it was way over here because we have our ribbon, you know, secured down, but sometimes it does get in the way. Okay, so there's that. Okay, now let's decorate the front with our bling. Now the package of bling that comes with this suite is called Low Profile Sparkle Dots, and then you've got Darling Duckling, Mossy Meadow, and Secret Sea. And as you can see, I've used a lot of the Mossy Meadow and the Darling Duckling, not as many of the Secret Sea. I really like them. It's just not how I've been stamping with this set so far. So let's bring in, let's see, last time I used Mossy Meadow. I'm trying to decide if maybe this time I want, here we're going to try, I think I want the Mossy Meadow. Either one would work. I don't know why I'm really hem-hawing about it, honestly. And you could do both colors. Doesn't matter. Okay, there's one. And let's do this one. And I'm putting 3 on. I work in odd numbers when it comes to things like this. Okay, there's that one. And these are quite difficult to get off. I have to say they are very sticky on the acetate. There's that one. And one more here. And then we'll put one little one on the front of our note card holder, our little pocket note card holder, I guess we can call it. Okay, there's that one. And then all I did is put one right here in the center where that little bow is. And I mean, you could put more on there if you want, but I didn't really feel like we needed to. Okay, let's burnish these now. So let's go ahead and fold them. You can use your bone folder. Right now, I'm just using my fingernail. Okay, so we have thank you and hello and thank you. And here's our last one. And then we'll just tuck these in here. So let's just go ahead and tuck in the 2 thank yous on one side, the 2 hellos on the other side. Now, if you did too many layers or too big of ribbon things, you're going to make it even more difficult to like close it up. So you do want to pay attention to, you know, how thick you make everything in here. So far, every time I've done it, usually it's about the same thing, same kind of layers. You usually have the card base and then 2 layers, and it always seems to work pretty good. Okay, close that up. And then let's see if Debbie can tie a bow today. And wrap that around. And let's try that again. It's funny, when I do tie my shoes, I tie a different way than when I'm tying bows here. And I don't know if I can get rid of that. Okay. Let's go back to how I tie a shoe. It's not usually how I tie ribbon bows. Usually I do the bunny ears type of thing. But I don't know, I was struggling today. There we go. And I don't want to trim too much off because I don't want it to be too difficult then to go back and tie it again if I untie it. I'm just trimming a little bit off that one edge. And there you go. There's our pretty little gift holder. Let's bring this one back in too. And let me go ahead and tie the bow on this one again. Why not? I think I will anyway. It's always funny. We tie bows all the time, and then as soon as we get on camera, it's like, we're all thumbs. And this one is a little bit longer, so I may trim this off just a little bit. There. Hopefully I didn't trim it off too much. All right. Aren't those just beautiful? These are just like the greatest little gift. I love making these, and I love giving them out. I just think they are perfect to hand to somebody, and, you know, a little something for you. I hope you enjoyed today's project, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out and ask. I'm always, you know, here to help anybody that needs help. And if you have any questions about my monthly club or the, you know, getting on my email list, the newsletter that you get, because you don't want to miss out on any sales I might be promoting or any sales Stampin' Up! Has, or when we have new products coming out and new catalogs coming out. So you'll see coming up this month, if you're on my email list, I'm going to be sending a form out that if you want a new catalog, you'll need to fill it out so that I can make sure I get you a catalog sent to you. All right, I hope everybody has a great Tuesday, and I will be back again on Thursday, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye, guys. Have a good